Human trafficking and sex slavery are exploding crimes around the world.
Picked up from the streets and sold into a women trafficking
The city
ring.
is fast becoming a hub for sex trafficking.
Snatched from the safety of our neighborhood and sold for sex.
1.2 million children are trafficked for sex each year. Now, this is a horrifying...
You're looking at girls who were held as slaves in America.
Bound by ritual to pay back massive debts, they end up trapped in a nightmare world of prostitution.
Is it possible that because we're going for an
The issue of human trafficking is one that we cannot ignore. After hearing the stories and reading the statistics, I needed to investigate this issue for myself. So I applied for a Nigerian visa.
Hope it goes well.
Sounds simple, but in reality, refusing to pay a bribe, or premium rate as I was told, can result in endless delays. Eventually, my visa was issued. Journey's about to begin. Excited or nervous? We'll see what happens. Anne will be meeting us when we get to the other side, so it's going to be an experience. Let's go. Hey, how's it going? Are you filming us now? Yes. Why? Documentary. As my plane left South African soil, I wondered what stories I would hear in Nigeria, Africa's most populated country. After a short layover in Lagos, I headed up north to the city of Jos, the capital of the Plateau State. The next 4 weeks would change my life.
Welcome to the studio, Anne and Alex. I'm so grateful that you're with us. Thank you for taking the time to come to Norway and helping us seeing the issue of trafficking.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Tell us shortly about yourselves.
Okay. My name is Anne Abok. I'm from Nigeria, from Jos, capital of Plateau State. And I've been a missionary with Youth at a Mission since 1999. And we currently live in South Africa, working in Nigeria and South Africa.
And Alex?
And my name is Alex Abok, her husband. And I joined Youth at a Mission as well in 2005 when we started media training in Nigeria together, training people in media. It's called Media Village, Nigeria. Yes. So it's a replicate of where we studied in South Africa. And so we replicated it in Nigeria to train Nigerians and give them skills in media. So since then, out of that, we started a media campaign against human trafficking.
The MICAT.
Yes.
This is a long story, but tell you how you got into this. I mean, for a Youth with a Mission minister to go into trafficking, against trafficking, is rare. Tell us.
Actually, it's not rare for Youth with a Mission because basically Youth with a Mission trains you to go into the dark places and take the light of Jesus. So I actually came in contact with the issue of human trafficking in 1999 when I joined Youth with a Mission. And I started from Togo, is a country in West Africa, Francophone country. I was visiting one of our lecturers who happened to be a Nigerian, and two girls from Benin City, Nigeria, teenagers, had come to him. They had fled a madam, and a madam is known to be a person who has trafficked people from a source community, maybe through a transit community to a destination.
But then a woman.
A woman, a Nigerian woman, also from Benin City. And so for me, that was the first encounter with human trafficking, and I kept thinking, this doesn't look pretty at all. I was vexed in my spirit, but I couldn't do anything about it. I was just starting my life in Youth with a Mission as a missionary. I was in discipleship training school. So, but I had it on my shelf, you know. And then in 2008, when I was studying in the Netherlands, I was with the Radio Netherlands Training Center, studying to get my certification as an international media trainer in Amsterdam. I was confronted again with Nigerian girls from
the Red
Benin
Light
City
District.
at the Red Light District in windows, selling their bodies. And for an African, you know, coming from Nigeria and seeing African girls on the streets in the cold, I mean, I went back to my hotel room. I was warm and cozy, but I kept thinking about them. You know, how can this be? There's no way that these girls will enjoy what they're doing. So it got me thinking, and Actually, what he talked about, Media Village, is the YWAM base that we started in Nigeria in 2005. And our focus has always been to use media as a skill for nation building, meaning that we use the skills of media, we train people also to use that to speak into national issues, to bring God's view into the issues of our society, to rebuild Nigeria, to make Nigeria become the country of God's dream. So it was easy for me to think of how to get involved, because at that same time I was watching a series on CNN, Tricked, Trapped and Trafficked. And it was Christiana Amampo who did the series. She reported on human trafficking between Denmark and Nigeria and Benin City. So when I got back to Nigeria, I had worked on a course. I designed it in the Netherlands as my final project, together with one of my colleagues. And that was our final project. Designed it, developed it, and decided to implement it. And we got funding from, because I pitched the idea at the conference also, and we got funding from Germany, the Foreign Affairs Ministry. And we worked in partnership with Deutsche Welle Academy as of that time. So I came back to Nigeria, met our team at our YWAM Media Village base in Jos. And I said, hey guys, we have to work on this project. Let's focus our time to fight human trafficking. We cannot let this happen. I mean, Nigerian girls cannot be sold like that, like commodities on the streets. They have a glorious destiny.
As you told me, there are a vast majority of the African women who have been trafficked that are from Nigeria.
You know, the very heartbreaking statistics is that about 80% of the illegal African prostitutes in Europe are from Nigeria, from Benin City.
And what's the catch? Why so many from there?
Because Nigeria happens to be the one country that sends out the most sex slaves from Africa. We have a huge population. We are the most populous black nation on earth. We are over 200 million people. And Benin City happens to be the headquarters of human trafficking in Nigeria. For some reason, in the 80s, human trafficking, you know, there was history of the past slavery, but human trafficking today is modern day slavery. So in the 15th century, Benin City was known for trading in humans, you know, but that was abolished, isn't it, Wilberforce? But now it came in a different phase, which is the trafficking of persons. And it was in the 80s, you know, when...
For the sex industry, mostly.
For the sex industries, mostly. But now it's opened up for different kinds of things. There's trafficking for labor, there's for domestic servitude, there's for organ trafficking, there's baby factory, there's child marriage, there's different kinds, and then there's also in Nigeria, there's Boko Haram. They will abduct girls and sell them out, you know. But that's like in the northern part of Nigeria. So we have a culture in Nigeria that, you know, you take care of your extended family. So when people from Benin...
So if somebody leaves the country, they will send money back home.
Yeah, definitely. They'll send money back home.
It's an African thing anyway.
It's an African thing. You need to look after your extended family. In Benin City, when people started trading with Europeans in Italy in the 80s, and then people that were living with them, I mean, in Nigeria, the general notion is that European men are hungry for sex. And they believe that Italian men, that's all they think about is sex from black women. So when they were there, they got approached and, you know, people paid them for sex. So those same people who went for business also sold their bodies and got money, came back to Benin City and built mansions. Other people saw that. Other families decided, okay, we want to also send our children with you. You are the auntie. You are the cousin, whatever, you are the relative. You can take them too. And that person instantly became a madam. Could also send the girls and make more money. And, you know, that was...
Wow. Yeah. It's heartbreaking to hear. Tell us about the voodoo's grip on these women.
Yeah, the voodoo, once the traffickers get to the families especially, they try to tell them, okay, we can help your daughters, we can give them better opportunities in Europe. So they use this voodoo to kind of trap them by taking them they have a court called the Ayelala court. So they take them, and that court is being recognized by the community. So they take the victims to go to the court to swear an oath that they are
to the madam.
That she or he will abide by the agreement that they agreed on the court.
And many of these cannot even read the agreement they have signed.
They don't even, it's verbal agreement.
Sometimes they write it, but...
but mostly verbal, and then the priest prepares a concoction by taking some of the body parts, like the blood of the victim, the hair of the victim, the nails, and they get a gin or whiskey, mix the concoction in it, and they make her to drink it, and also the trafficker to drink. So it's like a covenant that I'm going to abide by the agreement that we've signed here, or that is stated here. And then when she does that, and if they'll tell her, if you break this agreement, you're either gonna die, or thunder will strike you, or your family member will be killed. And then because of that, it puts fear in the minds of the victim, and she gets stuck to that the agreement, and she will have to just abide by it.
And because of the animism, this has such a strong hold of them that even if they flee from the whole industry, they will still keep this out of fear.
Yes, it's a worldview. It's a general worldview, and if they come out of that and do not pay back the money, they totally, and it's not just a fear, we've also seen the reality. That's what has happened to them. Yeah. We have a safe house, and we've seen one of our girls has said that this is my reality and this is what I'm struggling with. I took an oath and I have this experience, they see things in their dreams, they're tortured. Nightmares. They're tortured by these things, and so the drive to pay back. And that's why you cannot just easily say to a Nigerian girl on the street, why don't you quit the street, I give you money, fly back to Nigeria. No, it doesn't work like that.
First of all, she will come back and she will be a total failure to her family. Yeah. And they will find her. The people, if she lives in the same state, they will probably just
even
pull
if
her
not
back
the
in.
same state, they will still find her because they are networked.
Yeah. And so, therefore, helping them will have to mean so much more than just pulling him off the street in Oslo or Denmark or wherever they are.
Absolutely.
It is a much, much bigger issue.
Yes.
How can Norway, the Western world, help in this area? Because trafficking is such a big business, and it's such a big industry that it's like looking at a big mountain thinking, how can I get this down?
It's true, but we believe so much that trafficking is true, that it is an organized crime. We believe we have to be organized and networked to fight human trafficking. If not, we shouldn't even dream that we can attempt to fight it. We have to be organized, we have to be networked, we have to partner. We have to share solutions. We have to. It's a common problem, whether we like it or not. It has become our problem.
In all of the Western
world.
world.
All of the world, Western world, and also in Africa, developing countries as well. Yes. It is a problem. Now, it's a global problem. All of us are involved. So the best way is for all of us to again look at ourselves in the eyes and discuss way forward together. Let's talk together. Let's dialogue. Let's engage. Let's share experiences. Let's work together to fight it.
And you're speaking from experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you flirt with all your customers like
I'd
this?
like to earn my own money.
Okay, wait. Who do you think you are?
I used to make that kind of money in 4 days.
Victor! Please open, baby! Victor!
And you have experience in this area. Tell me about your previous experiences with Nordic countries and Europe.
With my experience with Europe, actually, because I dreamed about the idea to fight human trafficking in Europe, I encountered human trafficking for the second time and more in my face in Europe. So for me, Europe is a key place because this is where the market is. In Africa, we are the supplying country, right? But this is where the demand comes from. So the market is both countries. So we cannot just work in isolation in Africa and think we're fighting human trafficking. That's why we spread our tentacles. I mean, to travel to Europe for 2 months, going to 10 countries has not been easy. But our experience has been that we've partnered with some countries. I mean, we worked with Germany in 2008, but our biggest partners have been from Denmark. And from 2008, we started talking. 2009, we're building a relationship, signed the partnership agreement, and ever since we started working. So they always come into Nigeria. We're going to Denmark back and forth and working together. Even South Africa, they've been to us in South Africa where we live and have an office there. And what is it that we do together? We are from the supplying country, and we know the context of the people who are trafficked. They are in the receiving...
The life they live.
The life they live.
We are foreigners, and we can never fathom what they're doing.
Yes. So for us, it's second nature to us. We don't need to think about the realities of a Nigerian girl. But they only get to see them on the streets, and that's all they see. And the girls cannot even open up and tell you everything because they believe you don't understand. So we need to partner. So once we come up with ideas to say, okay, let's do a movie, because Nigerian film industry is the third largest in the world. Now it's the second largest.
Nollywood.
Nollywood. You have Hollywood, Bollywood, and Nollywood. If you want to send a message to Africa, put it in Nollywood. Don't put it. They say if you want to hide something from an African, put it in writing. But to speak to Africans, go to Nollywood. And so we sold the idea to them. They liked it, and they co-funded the project, Europe in My Heart. So we worked together with them. Shot in Nigeria and shot in Denmark. When we went to Denmark, they had set up, actors. We did auditions, locations, and all that. Organized hotels, everything. We worked.
We will see a little bit of that movie.
Great.
Chito, why don't we make Papa and Mama happy today by going home together and early?
She dreamed of a better life.
I'm tired every time.
Along came the charmer.
They call me African Dollar.
My name is Charity, but they call me Chito.
See you girls go to the community school. So what are your future plans?
For me, I want to be an actress. So.
Must it be Europe? Where is Copenhagen?
Look at this man. Is it not in Ghana here?
My wife needs these children at home. And this will help her with her domestic chores.
African Dollar, I hope this is not Djibouti, wayo.
We have communications for your data.
Mama Charity, see your disgrace in the front. Anybody who stands in my way shall be crushed. Wait and see.
Crushed.
Wait and see.
So girls, where would you love to go to?
Where do you always go to after school?
If you like, tell Mama that we're going somewhere after school. You will see what I'll do to you.
Guys, move now.
With caution from an observant father, pressure from an ambitious mother, Charity becomes a victim to her chosen future.
Who won't you get up and let her into my daughter for the last time I'm telling you?
I am so confused.
We are in deep trouble.
Groups 1, 2, and 3 boarding for New York. 1, 2, and 3. Groups 1, 2, and 3 boarding for New York.
This is the story of a daring village girl who thinks there's a better life in Europe.
Sorry, this person does not live here anymore.
A life that will take her family out of poverty.
Huh? What is it about her anyway? I really need to know. Deal with that.
Get out.
Answer me, Charity. Where you are what?
But how is Papa?
She soon realizes that the street of a foreign land can also be paved with hardship and hostility, especially to an illegal immigrant.
Make your choice, whichever one you choose. Anyone, just...
We don't have any guarantee.
Charity, will you marry me?
I don't want to get married. We don't have to.
Life killed her dreams. From the producers of Shadows in the Night comes another captivating film, Europe in My Heart. Ramsey Noah, Sam Doko Efe, Tina Mba, and introducing Zen Lana. Europe in My Heart. Coming soon.
Why movies and video?
Yeah, movies and videos, because we have a media background and we feel we can use what we have in our hands to fight this common problem that we have. And for us in Africa, just like she said, Nollywood is one of the largest industry in Africa. And we have an opportunity also to have some of the cable stations that are requesting content. So we decided, let's make movies that will address these issues, and then we'll have a wider spectrum to air it so that lots of Africans will see and not just be entertained, but also be educated to know that there's a problem here of human trafficking where poor people from poor communities have been exploited, into other countries and used as slaves, especially for sex and other things. So we decided to bring our acts together. She is a good script writer, and she wrote all the scripts and directs, and I'm a camera person and I shoot. And then for us, we see this going to remote areas that normally we cannot even go. So, but we've decided to use these movies to take to schools, communities, and show them. Because in Africa also, if you want to just talk to them, people will not listen to you. But if you say, we'll have a movie show, the whole community will fill up the
And that's what you've been doing
Yes.
on these 30 villages.
Yes.
Tell us about the 30 villages.
Yeah.
Okay, so our goal is actually to cover the whole of Nigeria with awareness and with training on human trafficking. So we started actually from Benin City, where we went to 4 villages in Benin City. We trained 150 volunteers in Benin City, and that was in 2011. So now the recent project was 30 villages, and we worked in partnership and funding from Denmark. Our partners are Church Integration Ministries, and the funding comes from DMCDD and Danida. And to reach 30 villages with messages of human trafficking, not just to say, hey, human trafficking, no, to get them to experience what human trafficking is like, and through our film. So with a community, we spent like 4 solid hours. By the end of the training, their eyes are really open, not just their eyes, but they have identified with the characters of the film, and they can pinpoint and know what states they are in when it comes to trafficking. And we don't do it alone. We have, we believe so much in partnerships. In Norway here, we have a very solid partner, Street Garden Ministries, and he's here in the studio with us. I mean, these are the kind of people that we take into the country. When we go to trainers that will go into the villages and all that, we need solid training. So we have people from Austria also coming, from Herzberg, from Austria. A lot of training goes into it, a lot of trips. But by the time we end up in the villages, sometimes we just stay behind and watch the people we have trained carry out the training. And even in that, we've been able to intercept 2 cases of human trafficking that were happening at the time we happened to be there. In Benin City, there was a village that said to us, do not come here with this awareness. We don't want to stop human trafficking. If you come in, it's at your risk. So those are some of the realities. But when we look at how much we're able to achieve, we know that we can cover the whole of Nigeria. But I mean, it's still big, 36 states. Now we've just done 30 villages in 3 states. And so we still have more grounds to cover, but it's looking good.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much for coming. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you again.
Thank you.
I will speak up.